curious to know who's going to win the game this year. Thank you so much. We'd like to introduce our cheerleaders and thank everyone for being here. And we will be using them to introduce the sponsors. So thank cheerleaders for such a great start. I'd like to welcome everybody to the press conference. At this time, we will be sharing some information. The first announcement is going to be the Senior All-Star Football name will no longer be used for the game anymore. After this conference, at this point on, the event will be known as the Greater El Paso Football Showcase. So we are now, for any type of identification purposes, we will be known as the Greater El Paso Football Showcase. And in getting to this new showcase, this name and this new endeavor, I'd like to introduce basically a person that was instrumental in making this happen. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce a local El Pasoan. This person was El Paso. He attended Burgess High School. He played football for Burgess. He was one of a typical El Paso athlete that had the ability to go on and play college at different levels. And basically he had to do that on his own. He ended up attending Columbia University, and he ended up doing very well for himself. He is the owner of Energy right here, a very renowned business owner in Houston. But the biggest thing is that he's bringing a vision to El Paso that he feels a passion for. At this time, I'd like to introduce El Paso's own Javier Loya.
Thanks, Rick. I'm really excited to be part of his new All-Star team in the Greater El Paso Showcase, especially on a Friday night in Texas. Gosh, where else would you rather be, right? Well, you know, before I became a business owner, and I was very much like the kids we know here in El Paso, just thinking about our Friday night football game and dreaming that one day I could play in the pros and do those kinds of things. And knowing that I had to go to college to accomplish that. But it was difficult. It was difficult not having opportunities, but knowing that I wanted to pursue my dreams and aspirations. Fortunate for me, my alma mater, Columbia, was mired in a losing streak, and they got pretty aggressive about finding kids that could pass the grade and play football. So I was fortunate to go to Columbia. But since then, you know, I've stayed in touch with my friends in El Paso and certainly keep track of the kids that are able to make it out and get an education through their athletics. But most recently, I became really aware of the difficulties that are here in El Paso with my nephews, John and Stephen Skelton. They were standout athletes, like a lot of El Paso athletes, but were not recruited and had limited opportunities for them. When I knew they could certainly play at the collegiate level. Well, John and Stephen, like a lot of young, aggressive students, were able to find a way to get an education at Fordham University, and now are both pursuing their dream in the NFL. And so, with that fresh on my mind, living back in Houston, where I live now, and when I'm not an energy business owner, I'm also a part owner of the NFL Houston Texans. And with my affiliation with the Houston Texans, we became aware and became part of a program called the Greater Houston Football Showcase. And it was a novel concept started by a coach, Billy Kemp. And Billy Kemp has roots here from El Paso as well. He played at UTEP, was his first coaching job as a Bowie. And Coach Billy Kemp one day was watching the television channel and watching the NFL Combine. And he was watching the athletes that were going to get drafted that year 4 years ago thinking, wow, wouldn't this be great to do something like this for the kids in Houston? And his vision was not for the blue chip kids that were going to Division I or being recruited by all the major schools. His thought process was, I got a lot of kids that are good athletes that if they had the exposure, if coaches could see them play, could offer them grants and scholarships so they can go to college. And so Coach Billy Camp put together called his coaches up, called a few coaches up, Coach Ray Seals, a famous Houston coach, and said, hey, can you help me out? Can we do this? And just in their backyard, their high school field, decided we'll invite as many coaches as we can, and if we can get 10 kids to get a scholarship, then we've accomplished much more than we ever could before. And so, fast forward, this concept, this combine of having a bunch of kids come over. These aren't naturally your all-stars or your starting team, your starting quarterback. This is any kid who takes his SAT or ACT, takes a GPA, and wants to go to college. That's the kind of kid that Coach Billy Camp was looking for, and that's the kind of kid we're looking for in El Paso. And so, fast forward 3 years, Houston has had this combine, the Greater Houston Showcase, and in less than 3 years, they've given out more than $9 million in scholarships. And so we're going to bring this to El Paso, where we know we've got student athletes. We know we've got skeletons out there that don't get an opportunity, and we're going to have an all-star showcase weekend, beginning with the Friday night, December 16th, the Showcase Combine, culminating with Saturday's 20th year anniversary of the All-Star Game. So really excited about that. I'm excited to be a part of it. I know you've already got an All-Star team here, and I'm just kind of helping out, putting the pieces together. Now with that, with my involvement with the Houston Texans, I've been able to meet some really great, inspiring leaders. And one is someone that I know you'll recognize. He was an All-American in college for Texas A&M, where he earned his degree. He was an All-Pro 3 times. He was drafted the 12th pick in the 1993 draft by the New York Jets. He played for I know this is Dallas Cowboy country, he played for the Dallas Cowboys, but most recently he played for the Houston Texans. An all-star in his own right, an all-star business person, an all-star person. Let me introduce him. Before I introduce you to him, I want you to know that this person also was a high school student at one point with limited opportunities and had to go, a small school route to pursue his dreams and aspirations. So, without further ado, let me introduce a good friend of mine, continues to be an All-Pro and All-Star, Aaron Glenn.
How you guys doing today? Good. I appreciate you guys for inviting me here and letting me be a part of this showcase. It really hits home when we talk about this showcase. And the reason why is like Javier said, I was one of those guys that didn't get recruited. I was one of those guys that looked at the Division I guys and wondered why I wasn't on that stage with those guys. And I took the long route. My path was to Navarro Junior College. And the reason I got there was because we had an all-star game, just like the one we have here. We had an all-star game, we had a combine. And I got a chance to showcase my talents at that combine. And I went to a junior college. After I got my degree, my associate's degree from that junior college, I had a chance to continue my aspiration of not being just a football player, but actually getting my degree. I had a chance to go to Texas A&M. Going there for 2 years, I got my degree in business. And fortunately enough, I had a chance to continue my aspiration of being a football player and played there. And got drafted with the 12th pick in the first round to the New York Jets. Now, I have plenty of friends that have kids that went the same route that I went. And that's why I'm here today, because it hits home. And a lot of people don't realize how important this deal is to their kids. Because everyone's not going to get recruited. Everyone's not going to have an opportunity to go to the Texas A&M and the UTs and schools like that. There's a lot of colleges out there that want these kids. And you know what? The business owners here, the ADs, the coaches, you guys should be commended for what you guys are doing for allowing this to happen in El Paso. And I think you guys need a round of applause for doing this. I really do. chance to go to school. Just think about that. Just think about the lives that have been changed with 174 kids getting a chance to not only play sports, but get a degree. 174, $9 million in scholarships. Gosh, you got to think about the magnitude of what just happened. That's powerful. And that's about to happen here in El Paso. It's about to happen here in El Paso. You guys are about to touch plenty of lives, not just now, but in years to come, that these kids get an opportunity to continue their dreams of playing football. That was my dream. And I got to say, football opened the door for me to get a degree. It really did. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I was one of the guys that wanted to continue to play. And me playing the game of football, just like any sport, it allowed me to get my degree, and I'm happy about that. Because that's one thing that can no one take away from me, is my degree. And I'm actually going to continue to go to school and get my master's pretty soon. So that's something that's going to happen with these kids also. So again, I'm happy to be a part of what's happening here. I mean, it really hits home to me. I was one of those kids that didn't get recruited. I was one of them. And you know what? It worked out well for me. It's going to work out well for a lot of kids here in El Paso. So again, thank you guys for inviting me. I'll be here for this game. You know, when we start talking ball, I can get up here and get long-winded now. So I'm going to try to make sure I don't talk you guys to death about playing ball, because I love it. And it's been my life for years. So again, you guys should be commended for what you're doing here in El Paso. I have a good friend that's from El Paso, and I know you guys going to know him. He's from the school right there at Andrews. Ray Mickens, he's one of my best friends. I actually just got through talking to him. I just got through talking to him, and I guarantee you what, he'll be a huge influence on what's happening here too. So, and that's big for guys like him to be able to come back home and be a part of what's happening. So you guys should really be happy about that. You got a homegrown guy that's doing the same thing as Mr. Javier is doing also. So again, I appreciate you guys for inviting me here. It hits home with me, and you know, just keep supporting this movement, and it's going to be good for El Paso. Thank you.
To talk about the specifics of this new concept combine, Dr. Jim Bowden.
Thank you. The El Paso Football Showcase, the Greater El Paso Football Showcase Combine is it's going to be held on December 16th, which is Friday, the day before the All-Star Game. It's going to be at 3:30 at the Socorro Athletic Complex. And the Combine basically is designed to showcase the talents, like we've talked about, of the El Paso area high school seniors. And it's going to be free to the senior participating. So it's no charge to the senior participating in it. So don't have to worry about anybody coming up with registration money. There are some criteria, though, that the senior has to have in order to participate in the Combine. Number one is they have to be a high school senior. We cannot do sophomores or juniors at this time. And they have to have had their SAT or ACT school, tests completed and a score before the deadline of the registration, which is December 4th, 2011. So what that means is that they have to have they can't be getting ready to take their SAT before that deadline. They have to have their SAT completed and a score so that it can be verified. They also have to have a minimum of a 2.5 GPA and be in the top 1/2 of their graduating class. Now, they don't have to meet all 3 of these requirements. They have to meet 1 of the 3. Okay? And the one thing is that the senior does not have to be he does not have to be on the All-Star team to participate. This is open to every senior in the greater El Paso area. So every senior football player has an opportunity to participate in the Combine. This is not limited just to the All-Star team. Again, like I said, the deadline for registration for the Combine is December 4th, 2011. The high school senior can go to the website, www.tinyurl.com/El Paso Football, and they can sign up for the Combine. The Combine is going to test the 40-yard dash. It's going to test their explosive ability with a kneeling power ball toss It's going to test their vertical jump, and there's going to be an agility shuttle. We were planning on up to 200 Division II, Division III, and NAIA coaches to be present to be able to measure these kids and have their academic criteria there in front of them so that they can hopefully offer these kids some scholarships to further their education through football. Thank you very much.
To make the official announcement of the new eligibility rules for the All-Star Game, YISD Athletic Director Mike Williams.
Thank you, Rick. As part of the commitment to excellence in academics as well as athletics, the Greater El Paso Football Showcase game, aside from the combine, the game has made it a requirement that all student athletes must have completed either the ACT or SAT test prior to the December 4th registration deadline. The test dates have been posted and handed out to the coaches, the head coaches of each school in Greater El Paso. The deadlines for registration, we have a deadline actually today for the SAT, September 9th deadline for the October 1st test. We have a deadline of October 7th for the November 5th test. The ACT, we have a registration deadline of September 16th for the October 22nd test. The coaches at each high school, the head coaches, have been given instructions and a roster to track the students as they register and take and complete these tests. So they will be tracking the seniors, and they'll be providing information to the athletic office, and we in turn will be contacting Mr. Bowden to make sure the online registrations are complete. But the head coaches have received this information with a letter also that is addressed to parents with the same information and deadlines, and hopefully we can get all the seniors interested in participating that make the All-Star team have completed all their requirements. Thank you. I'll turn it back to you, Rick.
We'll also be having a 20th year gala celebration, which means that all of the alumni from the previous years will be invited and will be presented at the day of the game. And at this time, we will make official information about the game and the combine with Mr. Justin Prediger.
The showcase is going to be a two-day event. The combine starts December 16th at 3:30 at the Socorro Athletic Complex. And the game is the following Saturday, December 17th. Pre-game starts at 12:35 and the game kickoff is at 1:05. Tickets go on sale Monday, November 28th at all high schools, all First National Banks, and all nationwide offices. Thanks.
In closing, Mr. Javier Loya is going to make some important points and issues about the benefits of scholarships and the sponsorships of the game. Mr. Javier Loya.
Thank you, and again, I'm really excited to be part of such an all-star team, starting with the superintendents, the athletic directors, all the local businessmen that really gathered together for one common cause, and that's to get our El Paso kids into college. And so with that, I just want to make sure that you understand, with all these sponsors and all the sponsorship, and many more that are going to join us in the days and months to come, that we're establishing not only a first-class combine and a first-class all-star game, we're establishing a scholarship endowment for student athletes. I mean, I've got two little girls, and as much as I want little football players, they want to be cheerleaders. And so, believe me, cheerleaders out there, band, ROTC, heck, you don't even like sports, but you're a good student, you come to us, we're going to help you get to college. So with that, thank you, El Paso. We're really excited, and good luck to all your teams tonight.
This concludes the press conference. Thanks, everybody. And again, on the finishing notes, the brand new name, remember, the Greater El Paso Football Showcase, which will include a combine on Friday for high school scholarships and the All-Star game following the Saturday. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.